Dear viewer, we wish you a pleasant journey through this thread of answers. What was your I'm in a toxic family moment? When I moved in with my and noticed she called her family for things I would never call my own for because she actually likes them and doesn't see communicating with them as an obligation, but rather because she wanted them to be part of her everyday life. This is something I noticed with my husband too. He talks to his family almost daily and has a good familiar relationship with his parents. I talk to my family maybe twice a year and it fills me with dread. Doing family stuff with him is hard and it makes me uncomfortable to be around a normal family. Like I just don't know how to act lol. My birthday, I got you a pack of socks, but I realized I can get them cheaper from somewhere else, so I'm going to return them. My brother 2 weeks later, I think I'd like archery, will you get me this $600 bow? Parents, oh hell yes. I never got the socks. I feel you man, had similar poop as a kid. My dad paid for my sister's dorm room supplies and her car payments all the while refusing to pay for mine. When my ex-sister-in-law broke into my house and started painting my living room while I was at work. Apparently, she didn't like the color and that would just ruin her Christmas. Wait, what? Yup. She also used to break in and wear my clothes, sell my things without permission, give me veiled insults in front of people, demand money, talk bad behind everyone's back, lie about being abused, scam charities for struggling mothers for money/gifts, tell people her son was autistic when he isn't, claim to be illiterate/learning disabled for benefits, claim she was a genius, she dropped out of grade 9 and was the dumbest person I have ever met. I know education does not equal intelligence but she was effing dumb. Cunning AMD manipulative, but dumb, paint her partner as an abusive scumbag to people, and have outbursts when she doesn't get her way. She also stole my ex's inheritance. She asked me if I had any clothes for her pregnant friend when I was very underweight due to anorexia. When she was a kid, she would lock herself in the bathroom to give herself bruises that she would blame on her brothers. For fun. I spent 6 years putting up with her antics and would get, but she's my S's tear whenever I got upset. I have about, let's see, 8 million stories. She was a narcissist, what can I say? My mom said I love you at the end of a phone conversation when I was 22 and I realized it was the first time she ever said that. My dad said he was sorry for something he did for the first time in 27 years a couple months ago. I still tear up a bit when I reread his text. Hey, people change. I'd rather have someone apologize than ignore it ever happened. I had my graduation from engineering the same day as my mother's birthday. I, of course, had nothing to do with the date choosing. My mother said I ruined her birthday so she scheduled her birthday party to be on my actual birthday. Her birthday is March, mine is August. That's dedication to being a tramp. Hope life has been better otherwise. I don't talk with my mom anymore. That was just the last drop in a long list of small abuses. Life has been much better. Thanks. Glad to hear it and most welcome. My dad screamed at me for 20 minutes when I was 11, called me a beach and told me to get the hell out of his house when I casually mentioned we seem to argue more than other families. Oh my gosh, are you doing all right? Actually, probably a lot better than I should be. Therapy, moving out, and a coming to Jesus moment for my dad has helped our relationship immensely, as well as him coming to terms with his own childhood trauma and learning how to cope with anger in a healthier way. It was a rough set of years, but I also know my story is best case scenario, so I try not to bring it up too often since I know I'm in the minority, and don't want others who are still dealing with their trauma to feel less than. When I realized what sex was and that my family shouldn't be doing it to me. Not kidding, fricked up childhood. Stories like yours always break my heart. I'm so sorry you went through that and I hope you're doing as well as you can. Well, to be honest, 35 years later and I'm finally just beginning to feel like I'm going somewhere better. Thanks. Told my mom I was depressed and she basically told me to deal with it myself. That was 4 years ago and I'm still having a crappy time of it. A while ago my mom saw my cuts. She pointed to them and said "aw" whilst pulling a sad face, then proceeded to carry on with her day. That's like a whole new level of insane. When my overly religious grandma tried to defend her blatant favoritism of my older sister by telling me that I was born evil. Man, F your grandma. Christ, what an awful thing to say. I don't understand how that grandma think that God likes what she says, like a WTF. Some people take religion too far and it has a bad influence on non-religious because they think almost everyone religious is like that. My first memory is of my parents fighting when I was 3. I remember my mom looking at my dad, and yelling, "This is why we're getting a divorce." They separated when I was 2, but took some time to figure out custody, as well as the actual finalization of their divorce. My mom was always so angry and would scream, throw things, and tell me consistently she didn't want me around. I finally had a breaking point with my mom the day before I turned 17. We got into a huge fight and I finally realized that she was just taking out the aggression of her past on me. I realized she had been blocking out the abuse she put me through, and finally brought it to her attention. I know her mother was an abusive alcoholic, and she kept perpetuating this cycle of abuse. What triggered the whole realization was when I dated someone for the first time when I was 16, and my BF's mom treated me like her own. It was the first time I felt welcome in a home. She made sure I ate because she knew I wasn't eating properly at home. She always had a bed made for me in case I ever needed a place to stay, and would always check in with my BF to make sure I was okay when I went home. I moved out the month I graduated high school, and I have not gone back to her house. Bill Burr told a joke. No one thinks they have an anger problem until they punch out the clown at their kid's birthday party. For whatever reason, it really made me step back and ask, why the hell am I so angry all the goddamn time? Because my parents never wanted a kid, so they raised me like a dog. You've got treats. You've got toys. Food and shelter. Why do you keep bothering me? When I dropped out of high school, I was practically goddamn feral. No social skills, no discipline, not even a personality. The end result of neglect and emotional abuse. It's been a real trip to experience a supportive, emotional and loving relationship for the first time as an adult though. I've really got the most wonderful wife on the planet. When I found out a lot of my family members are child predators and everyone knows but no one talks about it. My family is similar. My mom had to leave her family for several reasons. For example, she's a lesbian and no one in the family accepted that. What made her leave and never go back was after one of her cousins was caught naked with me. I was a baby and have no memory of it. When my mom flipped out, everyone was just like, well, he's family, he's just a little weird. You would think being a pedophile would be enough to disown someone. Nope, you still get invited to Thanksgiving. God forbid you're a lesbian though. My mom makes up lies then makes me look like the liar. It's called gaslighting. It's also just conveniently not remembering that she agreed to something previously. My mom does this all the time, so freaking frustrating. When my friend pointed out that most people are allowed to shower every day without having to negotiate it. That's so freaking strange. It's the type of unnecessary strange that makes me want to smash faces in. Please tell me you grew up in abject poverty, because only that would that type of behavior be understandable. Nope. Average middle-class life. This continued until I was an adult with my own job contributing to expenses, too. Whenever my mom would always tell me that I love my friends more than my family every time I get home from hanging out with my friends. Note that I seldom do leave the house to hang out with them, once every other week tops because I'm mostly introverted. It's even worse if I go out for 2 consecutive days or more SMH. It's suffocating and stupid, really. Can relate. Even if this hangout is something important like a 3-hour group study, they would use that against me for the rest of the week, like I care about my friends more than I care for them. Well, maybe I do now because they don't seem to care at all for me. Also note that I only get to meet up with my friends once in a blue moon in person, before the pandemic, say around every 8 months. Strictly when we have an important agenda. I've lost touch with many childhood friends who moved to other countries because of this toxic relationship, and I can't even manage to make new ones along the way. Meeting regular parents and witnessing them actually be good to their kids, help them, love them and teach them valuable lessons about life. Not yelling for every small mistake they did. Also now realizing that not every raised hand is about to hit you, sometimes it's there to pet you. But unfortunately for me it wasn't the case. As a dad to a nearly 4-year-old, I can't imagine the mentality it would take to do that to a child. I am sorry to hear it happen to you. Hopefully later life has turned out better. Routing for you, what would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.